A big shout out to our friends there at pelletguns.com for sending me this Nova Vista Behemoth in 22 caliber PCP. A couple of interesting things about this gun. Most of the stuff will be revealed as we go along. Single shot loader, magazine. It's got a dual pressure system. You've got your reg on the one side, you've got your bottle pressure on the other side. Short, compact, ready to rumble. I'm gonna test this bullpup. So right folks, I'm not the world's biggest fan of unboxing videos, but today I'm gonna join the crowd in this regard. Alright, hi, I'm Gert from Aim Small, and today we're doing something small. This is an entry-level PCP. You guys are used to me shooting the high-end PCPs all the way from Steyrs to Air Arms to Daystates to FX Impacts, but today we're going for entry-level, and I'll show you guys exactly what I've got. Kom zoomen uit man, zoomen uit. Alright, so the light is bouncing off my bull head. Sorry for that. Mother Nature has got another twist for me. First and foremost, let's start with a big thank you to pelletguns.com. I'll put the link to their website right at the bottom. They have been so kind to sponsor me this gun for a couple of months for me to go and test it out, try it and whatever. So when I looked at the package, I thought to myself, why? And then the answer sprung to me. Affordability, you idiot. Alright, so this is an affordable bullpup. It's the Nova Vista Behemoth in .22 caliber. It's got a few extra accessories and I'll talk about that as we go along. So there's a couple of firsts for me. First and foremost, it's been ages since I shot an entry-level PCP. Second, there's a lot of new stuff here that I'm not used to, that I need to get used to, so I might do this video in a couple of segments over a couple of days with the unboxing on day one and blah blah blah. Doesn't matter how cheap the gun is, it still needs to offer value for money. So how do I determine value for money in this regard? There's a couple of things I'm going to look for. The first thing is, can I use this gun? For what can I use this gun? Is it accurate? And I'm looking for some decency. I'm looking for a 1/2 inch grouping at 30 meters with pellets. I'm looking for a sub 1 inch grouping at 50 meters with the same pellets. Then I'm looking for a bit of shot count. I'm looking for versatility. I'm looking for ease of use, ease of refill. I'm looking for a bit of quality in this because let's be honest guys, if you pay 7,000 Rand for a gun, you expect quality. Doesn't matter if it's an entry-level gun, yes or no. Right, so that gives you guys an indication of the price of this. In South Africa, it ran about 7,100 Rand. That's just for the gun. With this, I've got a couple of other accessories, but first and foremost, I need to put the whole package together. I'm not going to build it on camera, that's too boring. I'll show you guys the after effects. This is how the gun arrived at me. I haven't opened up anything yet. I just took some of the stuff out of the packaging. The first thing that I quite like is this little baby over here. Now, this is a one-piece Picatinny scope mount. But what's quite nice is it's got 25mm inserts as well as 30mm. So you don't have to go and shop around for extra mounts. It will fit both the 25mm and the 30mm objectives in this regard. In the back, awesome. There's a little bubble lever there. Right, and this thing doesn't break the bank. I'll put the price up here as well. So that's the scope mount for that's been supplied with the gun. Then, very impressively, this is a Discovery scope. Now, I don't have any experience with the Discovery scope except for the very cheap, really cheap scope I've got on my 177 because I only need to shoot at 30-35 meters. But this is a first focal plane scope, still nicely wrapped in its box. Ooh, all the goodies falling out there. I haven't even opened it yet. I want to have a look at this. First and foremost, it's not a very heavy scope. You'll probably get some reviews on this, hopefully on the internet somewhere. I'll give my opinion as I go along. This is a 4-16 by 40 first focal plane, and there's a couple of things I really love. Right, there's a nice little scope cap at the back. There's a nice little protection there in the front. Rubber, it's very nice. And there's a sunshade. I still need to figure out the turrets. Oh, this is a pull and oh, this feels nice and sturdy. For this price range, not bad at all. Small little eye relief here. I'll check out the eye relief as we go along. Interesting reticle there in the front. That's going to be interesting to shoot off. Nice compact little scope. Will fit nicely on the gun, seeing that this is a bullpup, so you don't want a scope that's longer than the gun at the end of the day. You're going to carry the gun quite a heck of a time when doing pest control out in the field, so you don't want something that's heavy and cumbersome and also that you're afraid that it's going to break. And that's probably the big reason for a bullpup in this regard. I was looking for a gun that doesn't break the bank first and foremost, and secondly that can do the wet work in the field. Going out on the farm, throwing it in the bakkie. Currently my FX, my Canon 700mm lens, 210mm silence on in the front, you're looking at 1.2, 1.3 meters in length. Now put that in a bakkie with another guy sitting next to you and try and get that thing maneuvered out the window to take a couple of shots. So I think this bullpup might just do the trick for me in this regard. I'm only going to shoot pellets initially, but I'll go through the whole range. Quite interesting, I've never seen this before. These are Olympic dome-shaped pellets. They are 15.89 grain, 250 pieces, comes from Poland. Alright, so the Polish guys are getting some exposure here today. A little bit more expensive than the JSBs, but the build quality of this looks quite impressive. So it would be interesting to see how they perform. I'm obviously going to shoot it with these Olympia shots, then I'm going to do JSBs as well. And if I can find, I do actually have some H&Ns left from the previous one, so I'll shoot the H&Ns in different weights as well. Main thing from this gun that I expect: consistency, accuracy. If those two things are on par, I think we can have a winner right here. So what is not part of the gun is a very nice silencer adapter that the guys from Pellet Gun sent with. Now this is a DonnFL, if I'm not mistaken. Now I've got this very nice pellet adapter. I'll put the detail on here as well, that screws into the shroud in the front, and then obviously has the housing for a silencer, which is quite nifty and handy. I love this end cap, good quality, you can somewhere hear it, this is brilliant. And then I've got a new silencer, an Ich Liebe Dash. I don't know who the manufacturers are, but I'm sure as hell gonna try it and give you guys an opinion on this as well. Right, so without further ado, let's get the gun out. Welcome to the Nova Vista Behemoth in 5.5. Awesome little gun, like a sturdy. Some pieces that I have to just tighten up a little bit, that's a little bit loose. Interesting, comes with a single loader as well as a, what's this, a 10-shot magazine, which is quite nifty. But one of the very nice things about this gun, it actually has some space in the bottom here where you can store extra magazines. So they just slot in there and you're ready to rumble. You don't have to worry about carrying stuff in your pocket. All fits on the gun. Also very interesting, Picatinny on the side, Picatinny here as well for your bipod coming in. I'll do the exchange on the moderator just now. It is a plastic gun, let's be honest about this. What do you expect from the price range? Nice long Picatinny rail on top. The only thing I don't like is the moment you hit on something or you bump something, you can actually hear the plastic. So that's not my favorite part of the gun yet. I don't think it will ever be. The Picatinny for the bipod, this is all plastic. These are not solid steel or anything bolted on here. So the whole stock effectively from back to front is plastic. It's got a adjustable back pad. I must just figure out how to do that. It does it. Oh. Interesting for an entry-level pellet gun. Look at this. This has got an adjustable butt pad. Just lift it up, screw, and move it to where you want it. So spring loaded, no tools needed for that. Quite fast and easy. Get it into the right position, let it rip, and that's a better shoulder position for you. Also a nice little cheek piece here. I'll just tighten the cheek piece a little bit. It's a little bit loose for my liking. You've got a safe and fire mode here, back and front with a red little dot to show that it is dangerous to shoot. The reservoir here is 180cc, which is a little bit small. It's a very thin little reservoir that we've got for air. 180cc, but it's a 300 bar cylinder. Okay, so small but impact. I'm definitely going to have a look at shot count as well does this little baby have enough shots to take into the field and go hunting? Because we know that we don't all have hill pumps or something to pump it up in the field, nor do we have cylinders that we're going to carry around that can actually fill to 300 bar. So most of the time I'll probably only fill it to 230 or 250, then shoot it down from there, look at what the shot count is, look at what the speed is, and look at what the consistency will be. It has a easy fill adapter in front, which is the normal faster fitting, which is quite easy. And interesting, the parts on the barrel, everything, this is nice sturdy steel, this is not plastic. But again, you can hear that plastic sound in it. Alright, time to put all the goodies onto this little gun and get to the fun part, the shooting part of this. Haha, small little surprises that makes your day. So I was wondering, how am I going to adjust the scope? Because I don't have adjustable scope rings until I figured this out. One little screw in the front or the back, and you can actually raise the scope from that side or raise the nose. It is fully adjustable. You can move this little baby forward and back, and you've got a fully adjustable scope mount. What a very nice one-piece concept. Small surprises keeps on giving, huh? I absolutely love these scope mounts. All the bits and pieces have been fitted. The silencer is on, the silencer adapter. I've put a bipod in the bottom. I fitted the scope, filled the bottle. On the one side you've got the fill pressure. Mine is here at around about 270 bar. On the other side you've got the rec pressure. The Behemoth is quite a compact gun. It is a synthetic stock, other words plastic, but it just looks so sexy with that tall razor that it's got on. I've got the Ich liebe Dags silencer on there. I've got the one-piece scope mount, and the regulator is set at around about 180 bar standard from the factory. Now in my opinion that's a bit high. The long-term testing I'll probably bring that a bit down just so much so I can shoot pellets at around about 900 feet per second. I don't know what the speed is going to be out of the box. Only one way to find out. Time to shoot the Behemoth. So I've got my target set up at 30 meters again. I'm going to start off with the domed Olympia pellets in 15.89 grain. I've got 4 targets there in the front, 5 shots per target, and this is to test for groupings and accuracy. I did zero the scope, I did clean the barrel, I did do all the necessary stuff, lined the barrel a little bit with this lead. So let's see what the speed does. I also want to see how long the regulator is going to last. I filled it up to about 270 bar. That's the maximum I've got in my tank left. And I'm going to see how far it drops down, because the regulator is set at a whopping 180 bar standard factory settings. Initial test chart shows speed at plus minus 940 feet per second, or 31.4 foot-pound energy. Enough talking, let's rip it. Right, my setup is not stable enough. I'm quickly going to readjust and then I'm going to try again. Alright, so I adjusted the gun a little bit for more stability. Getting a little bit of a spread now. Initially there was spot on about a 3-foot spread. Jumping a little bit now, last target to go. Now that was pretty impressive. Average speed about 936, 937 thereabouts. It is sucking a little bit of air. It's got a very small tube, only 180 cc, but initially that looks good. Remember, this gun is brand new out of the box. It hasn't been shot in yet. I'm basically shooting it out of the box. It's got about 30 rounds through the barrel, plus the additional rounds I shot today. So this is very, very raw. I will update this video in a part 2 or a part 3 whenever, on the long term on this. So I'm going to shoot this for 2 or 3 months, take it out to the field a little bit, go some hunting with that, and see what it can do. What I'm going to do now is refill and then test some other pellets and see if it's pellet fussy or not. Initially it likes these domes. The groupings that I got there is quite respectable, or some of them are quite respectable. As the regulator settles a little bit, the accuracy definitely improved with that. Let's go and measure up, give you guys the initial impression with the Olympia domed pellets and the Behemoth.
I do expect the gun to shoot a little bit better after a couple of 100 shots, the moment that regulator is set in and everything is working hunky-dory. On target number 1, my setup was quite unstable and I pulled a couple of shots left and right. Height was perfect, and then all of a sudden it started to group a little bit better, and then everything just worked to perfection on target number 4, and I shot the group that is less than half an inch I was looking for. Up to now, quite impressed. It looks like the gun absolutely adores these Olympia domed pellets, running at about 940 feet per second, which is a little bit fast for me for pellets, but it's still grouping well. First impressions, I like it a lot.
Right, for the next exercise, I'm going to check if the gun is pellet fussy or not. What I've done is I've moved over to a slightly heavier pellet. The 930, 940 mark for a pellet is pushing it a little bit, so maybe the 18 grainers will be a little bit slower and a bit more consistent. What I'm going to do is I've got 4 different pellets here. First and foremost, I'm going to shoot the old trusty JSBs. These are 18.13 grain. I'm going to do 8 shots per target to give you guys a nice tight grouping, or hopefully. Then I'm going to go over to the Air Arms in 18 grain. I'm going to go over to the H&N Barracudas in 18 grain, and then I've got the Polymag Predators in 16 grain that I'm also going to shoot. Give you guys the crony reading on this as I go along and see if the gun is pellet fussy. The one thing I didn't do, and I didn't do it on purpose, is that I'm not going to let the gun in for each and every pellet out there. I want to on purpose see if this gun is pellet fussy and if you can shoot it from the word go with any type of pellet. After this, I've got some more surprises. So hold on to your hats, let's get shooting. Not too shabby. Let's try the Air Arms. Well, that's not bad. I've got 6 in a ragged hole there, and 2 just slightly to the left. That might have been me. Quite interesting. Very, very accurate. At this stage, I'm quite impressed by the gun. Let's go and look at the H&N Barracudas in 18 grain. Wow, that's quite impressive. Again, 6 out of the 8 shots in the ragged hole. 1 probably me, 1 was the sighter shot. Love it. This gun is impressing me. Every single day, a little bit more. Right, last one up. Polymag Predator, 16 grain. Maybe I should stop right there. 4 perfect shots. Well, let's try another 4. Pelletgun.com. Sorry, you're not getting your gun back. It's mine. It's mine. I like it. Wow, 30 meters, 4 different pellets, unleaded, out of the barrel. For this price range, what an awesome, awesome gun. I'm falling in love. Eish, my FX gonna miss me. Let's go measure those up and get on to the next round.
Those were some scintillating groups, and that's my big English word for today, scintillating. Quite unexpected. I did not expect this from this well-priced gun in that regard, but awesome groupings nonetheless. What is a man to do? I love it. I'm getting extremely biased about this gun because it is shooting like a dream, but there's still more testing to go. So let me shut up and shoot.
I enjoyed that so much that I decided let's take it 1 notch up a bit. Alright, so what I've got here is a plethora of H&N pellets. Thank you to the guys at H&N. First up, Field Target Trophy, the copper ones, or copper coated should I rather say, in 14.66 grain. Now I know from previous experience these pellets came out very slow out of the FX gun due to friction and a couple of other scenarios, so let's see what they do. Then I've got the H&N Barracudas. Now this is a short range pellet. When I mean short range, pest control short range, hollow point pellet for lack of a better word. Then I've got the heavy babies, the H&N Barracuda matches at just over 21 grains, 21.14, which I'm going to try. And then the last one in this batch that I'm going to try is the Hunter Barracuda Extreme. Now hopefully this 18.5 grain is going to do it for me, because I've got a couple of tins left and I've got some pest control to do. So let's see what it does with accuracy with these guys. Out of previous experience, I know up to 30 meters these pellets are like that. They're not super match bench rest type accuracy, but they're good enough for pest control. Let's see what they do out of the Behemoth. Let's go with H&Ns. Barracuda Hunters. Not too bad. Barracuda match. Right, last one, Barracuda Hunter Extremes. Now that looks mightily impressive for the Barracuda Hunter Extremes. I can take that, I can live with that. Let's go measure up, give you guys the results.
The Barracuda match and the Field Target Trophy struggled a little bit, but some excellent results out of the Barracuda Hunter and the Hunter Extreme. I had a look back at the previous test I did with the FX at different speeds, and the grouping with the Nova is not as tight as with the FX. But if you look at the price difference between the two guns, with the Nova costing 4 times less than the FX, I think that these results are quite acceptable. Well, there's 2 more pellets to go.
Right, so we've got 2 more pellets to test. Then we're done through all my 5.5mm pellets. This is the H&N Terminator. And then I'm going to do the H&N Hornet, just because I absolutely love this little golden tip that I've got. And this thing I know goes through just about anything you can think about. It's a very dangerous little pellet. Let's check them for accuracy out of the Behemoth. Well, that's not bad. The first shot a little bit low, but that's the settler usually, and it was a little bit slower. And then the Coroni got stuck on 932. So very good string there. Last one up, the Hornet. Wow, that's quite impressive. Alright, so that's under an inch grouping again at 30 meters. Slightly bigger than I would have loved, but I can't fault it. Alright, so that's the end of the pellet testing. For guns straight out of the box that hasn't been shot in yet, not too shabby at all. I'll give you guys a rundown of the pros and cons. The one thing that surprised me actually is that the cocking lever is quite easy. It's quite smooth. There's no problems there. The trigger, however, was awful out of the box. It has a very long first stage that is minimally adjustable. It is adjustable, but not a heck of a lot. And the second stage was just too hard for my liking. So that's the first thing I did. I just changed the trigger pull a little bit. The second stage is now nice and crisp and shorter, and it improved the accuracy and the consistency quite a lot. So from a pellet testing view, let me go and sum that up and then give you an overall opinion about the Behemoth, what my first impressions are, and then hopefully a month or 2 down the line we can do the long-term testing.
Alright, so the groupings aren't bench rest standard, but what do you expect from a gun that costs a quarter of the price of the more expensive guns out there? From a value for money perspective, I think the Behemoth did exactly what it had to do. The groupings, not as tight as I would have loved them. They are between half an inch and 1 inch at 30 meters, which is acceptable for an entry-level gun. Alright, let's look at the absolute final conclusion, the pros, the cons, and my final opinion. For the price, this gun comes into the market at 7,100 Rand, or around about $450. It's an absolute bargain hunt at this stage. The accuracy, the adjustability, the roughness of this gun, you can take it out the box, take any tin of pellets effectively, and go plinking, hunting, having fun with it. No fancy adjustments needs to be done, no fancy dialing in or anything, just take it out and use it. Unfortunately, the cons of this, yep, it is plastic. The standard factory regulator is way too high at 180 bar, small little reservoir, and that trigger that needs a bit of work. So, final word, will I buy this gun? Yes. I think it is excellent value for money. It's a nice hard working gun that you don't have to feel sorry about. You don't have to pimp it up or anything. Take it out of the box, put a scope on, load some pellets, and have some loads of fun. Well, that's me. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe. See you next time.
That's all, folks.